also had the news yesterday that New Hampshire has become the first state to allow the investment of its public funds into crypto assets, with its governor signing the new law on Tuesday. So this bill allows the investment of up to 5% of public funds in a digital asset that has at least $500 billion in market cap. And so that's like, it's broadly drafted in that sense, but obviously it's only Bitcoin who meets that threshold at the moment. The lawmaker behind the bill said that they wanted the new law to embrace financial innovation and help diversify the state's investments to mitigate inflation caused by the federal government, caused by the federal government's unending money printing. So it's, the same reason that everyone gives for why they might want to hold Bitcoin, kind of squarely pointing the finger at the Fed in that respect. They're not the only people who've been doing this though, right? Like Arizona just last week were ready to, or it passed the House and it passed the Senate, but the legislation was vetoed by the governor. Florida has also withdrawn its own effort, joining a number of other states where the reserve push has fizzled out. North Carolina seems like that's on the right track also. So it's pretty historic. It's like the first state that has now got this mandate to go and purchase Bitcoin, should it wish to, and decide how much of that 5% of its public funds that they want to allocate to Bitcoin. Very, very historic. Yes, some other states are trying to go in that direction. Some successfully, some not successfully at the moment, but this is the official ball rolling on the state level. Obviously, in the background, you've got two other factors. You've got the Fed, on the federal level, you've got Trump calling for his administration to set up its own stockpile in some way. They're still examining like how that's perfectly going to be done. They said it's not going to be using public funds. They got to try to think of creative ways to acquire Bitcoin rather than just market buy it with people's tax dollars. I don't think that's going to be the solution. But then the other thing, which I think is as important, or I don't know if it's as important, but just hugely important, was the Cantor news the other day. When I spoke about that, I thought this was as big a news as almost like the ETFs. Maybe proportionally, it's not exactly correct, but I thought it was incredibly important that a company which is majority owned by Tether, partnering up with SoftBank, one of the world's leading investment holding companies, are coming together to just buy Bitcoin. Like the whole point of them is to buy Bitcoin. They said 21 expects to launch with more than 42,000 Bitcoin, which would make it the third largest Bitcoin treasury in the world as of today. Cantor, remember, being the firm which is run by Howard Lutnick's son, and it was the firm which he was in charge of for a long period of time. Big Bitcoin bull by himself. Obviously, his company is a separate entity now to him, and he's not in charge there, but you can see the direction this is going.